All right, let's talk about music. We all love it, right? But have you ever stopped to think about what's really going on behind the scenes? The actual cost of the songs we stream and the shows we pack into? Today, we're diving into the insane pressure of the modern music industry. It's this machine that pushes artists right to their breaking point. And honestly, it can put fans in real danger too. And for us, this whole story starts with just 6 little words.
Yeah, this quote right here. I'm going away for a while. So simple, but so heavy. This came from the rising UK pop singer Lola Young. And those 6 words, they basically mean a career hitting pause, a dream getting interrupted right as it's taking off. So you gotta ask, right? What pushes an artist, someone who's climbing to the very top, to just suddenly slam on the brakes? So let's be super clear here. This wasn't some planned vacation or a chill creative retreat. No. This announcement came right after a moment of total crisis. We're talking a literal collapse on stage, right in the middle of a performance. I mean, it's just such a stark, brutal example of an artist being pushed way, way beyond their limit.
And just look at the details here. Lola Young canceled, well, everything, all her upcoming commitments, just gone. She was so open about it too, saying she needed time to work on myself and that she hoped to come back stronger. It's just such a powerful reminder, isn't it? That behind every single one of these performances, there is a human being, and sometimes that person just hits a wall. And look, Lola's story, as shocking as it is definitely not a one-off, not even close. It's really a symptom of a much, much bigger problem in the industry. This pressure to constantly perform, to tour endlessly, to always be on. It hits artists at every single level. We're talking from the brand new rising stars all the way up to the living legends.
And hey, if you think this is just a problem for up-and-comers, think again. Let's compare Lola Young's emergency stop with a move from an absolute icon, Dolly Parton. She actually decided to delay her Vegas residency. Her reason? She joked it was time for her 100,000-mile checkup. Classic Dolly. But she also said she felt like a higher power was telling her to just slow down. So you've got a rising star and a total legend, both basically saying the same thing. The physical toll of this business is immense.
But then you've got the other side of the coin, right? The insane pressure to just push through no matter what. Take US superstar Teddy Swims. He had to cancel shows because of health issues. But then the NRL came out and confirmed he would absolutely be performing at their huge grand finals event. It really makes you wonder, when does the show really have to go on, and what's the cost of that?
Okay, so this pressure to deliver this huge ultimate experience, it doesn't just land on the performers. It actually has some really dangerous consequences for the crowd, too. As we all demand these bigger, more unforgettable live events, the audience is facing a whole new set of risks. And this is especially true during Australia's festival season.
Okay, just look at this number for a second. 22.2 tons. Let that sink in. A recent wastewater survey found that that's how much methamphetamine, cocaine, heroin, and MDMA Australians consumed in a single year. Tons. The scale of that is just, it's almost impossible to wrap your head around.
And here's the kicker. It's growing fast. This chart shows a 34% jump in consumption in just 1 year. A 34% increase. And when you combine this massive festival culture with that level of illicit substance use, well, sources are calling it a lethal combination. And sadly, that has led to multiple tragic deaths at events over the last few years.
So, that leads to the really crucial question, doesn't it? With drug use clearly on the rise, how do we actually keep people safe? And this question, well, it's become a massive political battleground. Authorities are completely split on how to handle it. And this table just lays out the whole conflict perfectly. So on one hand, you have New South Wales. They're running a 12-month trial of pill testing at festivals, as a harm reduction strategy. But then you go right next door to Queensland, and the government has banned pill testing completely, shut down the sites that were there. So you have two states with two totally opposite approaches to exactly the same life or death problem. So you've got artists burning out, officials are arguing over how to keep fans safe, but what about the music machine itself? Well, it doesn't slow down. It doesn't even pause. It just keeps speeding up, demanding more content, more tours, more everything. This is the engine that's driving all that pressure we were just talking about, and its pace is just relentless. I mean, look at this. You've got absolute legends, the Australian punkabilly heroes The Living End dropping their 9th studio album. It's this awesome return to their aggressive rock and roll roots. But think about that. The expectation for a veteran band like that to just keep producing is huge. And then, of course, you have the global pop juggernauts. Taylor Swift drops her 12th album, and as you'd expect, it's total fan frenzy. People are packing stores for the midnight release. It just shows, for the biggest stars on the planet, the demand for new stuff is nonstop. The cycle just never, ever ends. And hey, if it's not brand new music, it's old music made new again. Take Oasis. They're celebrating the 30th anniversary of their absolute classic second album with a big deluxe edition. You know, new versions, new artwork, the whole deal. The past is just constantly being repackaged and resold, adding yet another layer to an already crowded release schedule. And what follows every single release? The tours. Of course. You've got Oasis hitting the road for a massive reunion. The Tea Party is launching this really ambitious orchestral tour. Rappers Night Lovell and Hayer Parper are kicking off their dates next month. It's just new albums, old albums, constant touring. This is the churn. This is what fuels all that pressure and leaves absolutely no room for these artists to catch their breath. Okay, so let's just step back and bring this all together. On one side, you have artists literally collapsing from exhaustion, and that's being directly caused by this commercial machine that just demands more, faster, and bigger all the time. And on the other side, you have this tragic and growing safety crisis happening in the very crowds that are fueling that machine. And all of this, it really leaves us with one big, unavoidable question. As fans, as the people who stream that new album, who buy that concert ticket, who get excited about that reunion tour, what are we actually buying into? In an industry that truly never sleeps, we really have to ask ourselves, what is the true human price of our entertainment?